Hello, I am Shieradel Jimenez, and I am here to present our study, Resilience Amid the Pandemic, the Stories of Select Social Enterprises in the Philippines. I am presenting on behalf of my two co-authors, Raymund Habaradas and Ian Benedict. First, let's tackle a brief introduction about social enterprises. Social enterprises, or SEs, are hybrid organizations that pursue a dual mission, that of profit and a form of social cause. If you look at the illustration on the right, SEs are also known as commercial profit, nonprofits, or social businesses. This simultaneous pursuit of two missions results in various internal and external tensions that threaten the viability of these enterprises. The process of negotiating balance among the multiple and often competing pressures exerted by internal and external stakeholders is very important to SEs. How these SEs resolve these tensions in their day to day operations might potentially result in mission drift, especially when an organization consistently favors one mission over the other. However, these tensions already exist under normal circumstances. The researchers were curious what happens to SEs during crisis, such as the lockdowns resulting from the COVID pandemic. More specifically, how will selected Philippine SEs respond to the challenge of keeping true to their social mission? To answer these questions, let's briefly tackle the methodology employed in this study. The researchers employed an exploratory case study approach. Two sets of data were collected for this research. The first set of data consists of published materials and transcripts for interviews conducted before the pandemic hit the country in March 2020. The second set were collected from March 2020 until March 2021. The interviews conducted were for different research studies. However, the contents of the transcripts contained data that were relevant to the current research. These published materials and interview transcripts were coded together by two of the researchers. The two researchers manually coded parts of the materials deemed relevant to the research question. Disagreements were resolved through intensive group discussion with the third researcher. After the coding was done, categories were then identified, and from these, the themes emerged. Now that you know what we did with the data, we wanted to give you a brief background of the three cases studied. These details are essential to the understanding of the subsequent discussion contained in the other slides. These three cases are the Murang Gulay Shop, or TMGS, Everything Green Trading and Consulting, or simply Everything Green, and Mad Travel. For the first SE, TMGS was founded by Reden Rojas. It is an online vegetable trader and retailer that purchases produce at fair market prices from farmers in various provinces. These are sold in Metro Manila for less than ongoing retail market prices. In doing so, Metro Manila residents get access to quality agricultural products at lower prices. Aside from this, TMGS also charges Everything Green is an eco startup that provides end-to-end innovative business solutions and concepts at the community level. This startup aims to revolutionize the hospitality industry by ensuring the industry's core business processes sustainability. The company's first project was creating, manufacturing, and distributing the green alternative sleepers, Grinelas. These sleepers are, sorry, This startup aims to revolutionize the hospitality industry by ensuring the industry's core business processes sustainability. The company's first project was creating, manufacturing, and distributing the green alternative sleepers, Grinelas. These slippers are from bakbak, or dried abaca leaf sheets, and were positioned as a zero waste alternative for the hospitality industry. To stay true to its mission, the company employed sustainable production practices by partnering with various communities. The community partners were duly licensed by the Department of Agriculture, Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority, and are holders of community-based forest management agreements with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Aside from this, the company also employs persons with disabilities in their former manufacturing site in Quezon City. The third SE studied was Mad Travel. Founded by Thomas Graham and Rafael Janicio, Mad Travel is an SE that leverages sustainable social tourism to create opportunities for and with marginalized community. Through its tour package, Tribes and Treks, the company does so by bringing local and international tourists to Yangal village in Zambales, the home of an Eta community where guests get a glimpse of the locals' way of life. A tree planting activity is included as part of the tour, which benefits the Eta's 3,000-hectare ancestral lands. Through these trips, the locals can also supplement their income by selling organic fruits, honey, bracelets, bamboo whistles, straws, and mini bow and arrow sets to the tourists. Clients can also choose other locations for their travel destinations, such as Bataan and Rizal. Now that we know the SEs a little bit better, let's now turn our attention to answering our research question. Based on the data collected and analyzed, the researchers have observed two possible outcomes resulting from the SE's experience of the COVID-19 situation and how that impacts the pursuit of their mission, social mission. The first possibility is the intensification of their commitment and fulfillment of their social mission. TMGS has demonstrated this outcome. The second possibility is the continuation of an SE's delivery of its social mission through modifications of its business model. Everything Green and Mad Travel exemplify this possibility. We're going to look at these two possibilities in more detail in the next slides. For the first possibility, TMGS experienced an increased demand for their products. This situation resulted in TMGS having to buy more vegetables and fruits from the provincial farmers, putting more money in the pockets of the farmers. As prices of commodities continued to soar in the metro during the height of the last year's lockdown, the company served more customers as it still maintained its narrow margins to continue fulfilling its mission. As more cash came into the firm, Mr. Rojas found new ways of helping poor farmers in the provinces by providing them with the capital needed for a planting season. This additional capital was provided at no interest. TMGS also guaranteed to buy the crops by the end of the season at fair market prices. In this sense, the firm was able to find new ways of helping its beneficiaries. The owner also went into several franchising agreements to ensure that more customers will benefit from the lower prices that the SE has to offer. For the second possibility, the first is Everything Green's experience. Everything Green had to close temporarily. Since the company's target market, specifically hotels and resorts in the hospitality industry, was one of the most negatively affected by the lockdown, orders for its Greenellas were canceled. The SE considered how it could continue to help the disadvantaged communities and people with disabilities that benefited from Everything Green. To this end, the firm created a crowdfunding initiative to cater to the needs of their people. Everything Green also saw the need to pivot. The old business model would have to change, or else the firm might not survive at all. Everything Green started creating and selling new items such as fashion accessories and wearables. The company also made its e-commerce platform, enabling it to move from a business to a business to consumer model. Mad Travel had a similar experience as that of Everything Green. As with the hospitality industry, the tourism industry was also negatively affected due to the restrictions imposed as a response to the pandemic. The tourism blockade meant that Mad Travel had to stop offering their guided tours. This blockade resulted in the Eta community's loss of income. Motivated to continue providing support to the various communities, Mad Travel came up with new initiatives. One of these was the online global crowdfunding campaign called Feed the Farmers Today, Fund Tomorrow's Forests. Funders were encouraged to buy trees, which then paid for the labor of the ETAs that will plant these trees. The enterprise also launched Mad Market, an online delivery service that procured products from farming communities such as Benguet, Davao, and Nueva Ecija. Lastly, the company launched an online education program with topics about innovation, sustainability, and social enterprises called MAD courses. From these results, we identified several emerging themes that might be worth pursuing in future studies. And these themes are the recognition of social opportunity exploitation, the importance of digital technologies, and utilization of social capital. Given the limitation in time, we invite our viewers to read the paper we've submitted for the examples cited on these themes. As to the first theme, social opportunities enable entrepreneurs to create additional social value when they take advantage of these opportunities. While the three SEs faced different situations and corresponding challenges, the researchers identified that all organizations could recognize social opportunities for intensifying or continuing the fulfillment of their social mission. Intimately connected to the first, and as already hinted, the second theme is social opportunity exploitation. As the three SEs were already operating when the pandemic hit, this exploitation came in the form of pivoting or changing the organization's business models. As the three cases faced different situations, the pivot or the change in strategy was manifested differently. The third theme is the role and importance of digital technologies. While the three cases used digital technologies to various degrees before the pandemic, it is apparent that all three utilized some form of technology to intensify or continue fulfilling their social mission during the pandemic. These findings echo Priyana and colleagues' study and how they found out that the sales functions digitalization is compulsory for small and medium enterprises' success during the crisis. Framed in this light, it seems that digital technologies are resilience enablers and contribute to the sustainability of these SEs. Lastly, and no less intertwined, is how all SEs made use of their social capital. According to Putnam, social capital pertains to features of social organizations, such as networks, norms, and trust that facilitate action and cooperation for mutual benefit. The three SEs were able to utilize their accumulated social capital in different ways. The mutual benefit derived facilitates the SE's organizational resilience, similar to the findings of other studies. To close, the researchers conclude the following. This exploratory research has found that SEs may take two different paths to achieve their social mission during crises, intensifying their commitment and continuing to fulfill their social mission. Although challenging, the cases continued delivering on their promise by recognizing social opportunities and exploiting these by changing their business strategies. The adaptation of digital technologies and their social capitals facilitated these SE sustainability in the short term and hopefully also in the long term. Before I end this presentation, we would like to inform everyone that we are part of a global research project titled Entrepreneurial Resilience and Recovery During and After COVID-19 Crisis, Firm and Community Level Responses in China, Malaysia, Philippines, and Thailand, which is supported by the UK Research and Innovation. This project is a collaboration among the Asian School of Business, De La Salle University, Imperial College London, Mahidol University, Tsinghua University, Wuhan University, the Asian Development Bank, and the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. Here's a brief list of our references. And that's where our study is currently at. We are hoping to have a fruitful discussion with you on how we can improve our research further. Thank you.